All right, what's going on, everybody? Tagline 205 coming to you from millions.co, live on millions.co, live on YouTube right now and Instagram. If you're not already following me, Tyler Gates, your analyst on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, formerly known as X, and now on Spotify. Go ahead and follow me on those platforms as well. It should be down below. Subscribe and follow. That's my motto here. Subscribe and follow. We're going to get right into it, people. I have such great news for you today. When we talk about sports and when we talk about the peak of sports and the hierarchy of sports, as I'm looking here on my notes, there are some things in life that we must pay attention to. Number one, baseball. Number two, basketball. Number three, football. Number four, hockey. Number five, golf. Number four, yes, you get it. You get it. But today, there were some things that happened in the baseball world. The winter meetings are going on right now, 2025 winter meetings in Orlando, Florida. I am just a couple hours away from that right now. Actually, Orlando, Florida is where the MLB Winter Meetings are taking place. We have news. Kyle Schwarber back to the Philadelphia Phillies on a 5-year, $150 million contract. It's a major commitment from the Phillies front office. It's a major commitment. David Dombrowski, this is a major commitment. When we're talking about the Philadelphia Phillies, we understand that their playoff woes get to them, especially in the NLCS. They went to the World Series against the Astros that one year where Trey Mancini was on the Astros, and Kyle Tucker was still on the Astros, and the Phillies made some significant moves, right? They signed Trey Turner that offseason following the World Series appearance. And then you look at what they did with that team since then. We're talking about Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, Ranger Suarez, Sir Anthony Dominguez, who's on the Orioles now. I can name so many players. Nick Castellanos, who they're actively trying to find a trade for. He's known for hitting dingers. If you don't know who Kyle Schwarber is, go look him up. Kyle Schwarber, that brother right there, is one of the greatest home run hitters in our era, probably of all time. And to see what the early fireworks have brought to us with Edwin Díaz as well, who is no longer a New York Met. He is a Los Angeles Dodger. Thank God he's out of my division. Because as a Braves fan, you guys understand and know good and well, when it comes to the Mets and when it comes to the Phillies, I can't stand them. You guys know that. But now that he's out of my division, we can talk about Edwin Díaz and how he's going to impact the Dodgers and keep them ruining baseball again. They're ruining baseball once again. You already got Shohei Ohtani. You already have Roki Sasaki. You already have Yamamoto. You already have Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts. Who else do you need? You brought back Miguel Rojas. I mean, he's not going to do much. But the return to Philly for Schwarber, I want to talk about Schwarber first. The 5-year commitment, $150 million. I fully believe that with this move, you're bringing him back because you feel like you can win the World Series this year and for years to come. 5 years, it's a tradable contract. It's a very tradable contract. It's not a lot of money. It's a very tradable contract. And Kyle Schwarber, I thought he would have got more. I thought he would have got at least, we're talking about in the ranges of probably $250 million and up for what he does for the Phillies and baseball in terms of home run derby, stuff like that, right? In short, for Kyle Schwarber, don't let the Phillies fool you. They're not going to make the World Series. And even if they do, I'll be surprised if they do. I don't think they win it. Pitching has been a problem for them. Aaron Nola can't save you. Ranger Suarez can't save you. And yes, I understand there's been some rumors about Suarez being dealt. I wouldn't do that if I were them. There's been some rumors about them dealing Aaron Nola. The best player on your team, pitching-wise, the stalwart of the Philadelphia Phillies, the face of the Philadelphia Phillies before Bryce Harper got there, the face of the Phillies. Post Ryan Howard, pre-Bryce Harper, it's been Aaron Nola's team. If you take away Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber and Trey Turner, it's Aaron Nola's team. It's always going to be Nola's team to me. But what I don't want people to start getting is, oh, the Phillies are being desperate. I don't see the desperation. They're in contention. Their window is closing fast. The Dodgers window is definitely closing fast. As much as people want to say, oh, Shohei Ohtani, it's closing fast. Believe it or not. So, Phillies, Dodgers, getting Diaz, getting some more pitching in there. We understand Glasnow's on the trading block. We understand that you have Sasaki, Yamamoto. You have all of these pieces. Ohtani, who's gonna pitch and hit, obviously. We understand. After a stellar World Series, and they took the Blue Jays to 7 games, won the World Series back-to-back. I don't think they three-peat, though. Let's be honest. They're not going to three-peat. And if they do, it needs to be investigated. They already need to be investigated on many levels. How do you get Edwin Díaz? At this point, it's either money laundering, either they're getting money from another source outside of the United States, or players want to ring chase. It's either those 3 options, because you can't tell me that the Dodgers are not trying to ruin baseball. They are. They're trying to ruin it, and they even admitted it. Moving on. But before I move on, in short, I have to say this before I move on about the winter meetings. It's such a great experience. If you have not gone, go. I was supposed to go this year. I will be going next year. Trust me. It's a great experience from what I've seen so far. MLB Network is there. Jeff Passan, John Heyman, JP Morosi. You can be so many people you see on TV. So many analysts, so many journalists, so many columnists, so many reporters, so many writers. You can meet these people in sports media. Trust me. Moving on. The college football playoff is set. But the SEC championship game. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Y'all really didn't think that I was gonna go without talking about this, right? I mean, really, if you didn't think that I was not going to go without talking about this game, then you're so. That's what happens when you lose to the Georgia Bulldogs. You get beat back. And yes, I don't know how they still made it. We're going to get to that later on the show. But the Dogs did their thing. And Kirby Smart got his get back. He got his get back. This firmly places Georgia as the top 3 team in football, if you ask me, in college football. It's non-biasness. When we talk about what the Bulldogs executed in the game against Alabama, they were more dominant. The run game showed promise. Stop running wide receiver screens, Bobo. Please stop doing that, because they're going to figure us out. And what I mean by who's going to figure us out, I mean Ole Miss when we play them, because I know they're going to beat Tulane, and Ohio State when we have to play them in the semifinal. Yes. And when we go to the national championship, probably Indiana. I don't see Alabama going against us. I'm telling you who we're either going to face. It's either going to be Oregon, Indiana, Alabama, or Oklahoma. Those are the teams we're going to face in the national championship. Or I'm telling you, Oregon, Alabama, Oklahoma, or Indiana. And one of those teams, we're going to beat them. But it cannot be wide receiver screens. It can't just be the same plays over and over again. It's like the Falcons. Anyway, keeping the momentum going. That's a big talking point I want to talk about. Keeping the momentum going. When you're referring to how they were just dominant defensively, have the stats right here. -3, not even one. Not even one. 0. -3 rushing yards. Alabama, you're kidding me. -3 rushing. -3 rushing yards in the first 3 quarters. On offense, Georgia quarterback Gunnar Stockton, threw for 156 yards, 3 touchdowns, earning the game's MVP. The win giving Georgia, if I have it right here, back-to-back SEC titles almost certainly locks up a spot for them in the top 4 seed and a first-round bye we have seen on Selection Sunday in the college football bracket. Now, for Alabama, what did the blowout loss mean? Nothing, apparently, because they didn't move from 9. They still have to face Oklahoma, which I hope they lose, right? And I hope Oklahoma dominates them like they have been for the past 2 seasons. Their college football chances did not diminish, even though they got spanked, and everybody thought, wow, they're probably out now. And that was the scenario that people were throwing out there, that if Alabama did get spanked, where were they going to be? That was the scenario that people were throwing out there. Now, the Tide may be left out of certain things, but they will never, ever be left out of the college football playoff because they are the darling child of college football. It's them and Notre Dame. If they are not in the college football playoff, apparently something is wrong. Apparently. But the bottom line is that Kirby Smart finally got past Alabama. He finally figured them out. He finally dominated the Alabama Crimson Tide in a way that Georgia fans can remember and can reminisce and can talk about for a while, because I got a feeling it's coming back around again. I know we play them every season, but it's going to come back around again. And when we play them in the SEC championship again, whether that's next year, the year after that, or the year after that, we're going to beat them again. It may not be in the same manner, but we're going to beat them again. See, that's what happens when you take your opponent for granted, Alabama, Oklahoma. That's what happens when you take your opponent for granted, Alabama, Florida State. That's what happens. That's what happens. When you take an opponent for granted, this is what happens to your football team. You get demolished, you get ran through, you get scored on a lot. I don't want to hear about injuries. It should be next man up for Alabama, right? They have such a great team, right? You don't ever hear about Georgia fans complaining about their injuries because the next man up. Gunnar Stockton is a great example of that. What happened last year in the SEC title game? It was a next man up scenario. When Carson Beck went down, he was ready. If Gunnar Stockton would have went down, God forbid, if he would have went down, Ryan Pluxie would have been ready. I will tell you that right now. He would have been ready. And he's probably going to be the quarterback next year in 2026 if Gunnar Stockton does not return. I would love to go get Dylan Raiola. I know he was a former Georgia commit. If we're talking about transfer portal, they're going to be active. Zachariah Branch, Nate Frazier. We can talk about all the weapons. Zachariah Branch came from USC. One of the greatest pickups, one of the best pickups right now of college football out of the transfer portal. Arguably top 5. But when we get back, I'm going to go into my Falcons. We're going to talk about this late game or this latest game from the Falcons, Seahawks, when they came down to Atlanta, Seahawks, Falcons. Then I'm going to get into my bracket to end off the show. Once again, Tag Loud 2050 Millions. I'm coming to you live through Instagram, through YouTube, and Spotify. Once again, coming to you live from YouTube, Instagram, Spotify. Go follow me on Spotify. Go follow me on millions.co as well. Subscribe on Millions. So subscribe and follow on Spotify now. Tag Loud 2050 Millions. Also coming to you through the airways of YouTube podcasts. Stay tuned. All right, everybody. We're back. Tagline205 on millions.co. Tagline205millions.co on, like I said, Tagline205 on millions.co, YouTube, Instagram, and on Spotify. Now, guys, I want to get into this game. I don't really want to talk about it, but we have to. Atlanta, what's wrong with you? What has happened to us? 4-9 with this talented of a team. 4-9. There's some immense amount of explaining you have to do. Because there is no way we should be this bad with this iteration of this team, with this iteration of the Falcons. There's no way possible. Now, I understand that we probably weren't going to win, but 9 points, only 9 points. I mean, they crushed us in the second half. We literally thought, as Falcons fans, maybe we have a chance to beat one of the best teams in the NFL, if not the best team in the league. In the Seahawks, we only held them to under 10 points in the first half, and then they come out the first play in the second half. What do? A kickoff return by none other than the former Saint himself, Rashid Shaheed. The ultimate disrespect. If it was anybody else, I would have been okay. But him. There's no major controversy here, is there? I mean, there has to be. There's no headlines, right? There's no dominant performances, right, Falcons? Because apparently we don't know what those are anymore. And before I move on, I'm not going to take long on this one. The Seahawks eliminated us from playoff contention. And Seattle fans everywhere, I'm going to say this, and you can probably clip this. You might go to the Super Bowl this year. There's a good chance. I know Sam Darnold went back to some of his old ways in the first half. Yes, Sunday against the Falcons, throwing interceptions. Once again, you can't take the Jets out of Sam Darnold, but you can take him off the New York Jets. You can't take the Jets out of him. Okay. Number 2, your defense is now. I mean, it isn't going to be nowhere near the Legion of Boom, but you have potential. You guys can call yourself another nickname, just don't call it 2.0. We're not doing that. The Legion of Boom is different. Sherman, Thomas, Cam Chancellor, Michael Bennett, Cliff Averill, Bruce Irvin, those boys, they were different. But the late game or the late first half screwing had me thinking this game was about to be just over. And the Seahawks went into the locker room and probably said, you know what, let's stop playing with them. And we've relegated to a team now where we're being played with. That can't happen. That can't happen. What does all this mean? Well, before I get into my last subject, what does all this mean? All the topics I've just said. In MLB, the Dodgers and the Phillies look to go to the World Series. Plain and simple. They're looking to go. Díaz, probably 1-year deal. Kyle Schwarber is going to be there probably until he retires. I want the Phillies to win something. I do, so they can shut up. Those Philly fans. I honestly do. I actually want to see them beat the Dodgers. I would like to see anybody beat the Dodgers and go to the World Series and win. I'd love to see it. In college football, Georgia's blowout win over Alabama means this. Nobody wants to see us in the playoffs. Maybe Alabama. I mean, maybe Ohio State. Maybe Ohio State can beat us. I'm not entirely sure. But potential sees Alabama losing to Oklahoma. If it's off potential, Oklahoma's winning. If it's off of straight Facts, I think Alabama has it, but I have Oklahoma beating you guys. I'm sorry. And in NFL, my Falcons. The momentum is shifting towards Seattle's way, and it showed yesterday. They showed why they're probably the best team in the NFC. They showed why. If they can beat the Bears and the Eagles, I think they can beat anybody. If they can beat the Rams, they can beat anybody. Okay, the Rams, we're not going to talk about them much. We understand they're probably the best team in football. Overall, you can't lose to the Panthers, though. You can't lose to the Panthers. And to end off this show, we're going to talk about Tyler A's bracket. This is brought to you by Marriott Bonnier, excuse me. Tyler A's bracket, once again, brought to you by Marriott Bonnier. And college football, arguably, is the biggest thing sport-wise right now. If it is not football, if it is not basketball, definitely not baseball because they're the Winter Meetings. If it is not any of those sports, it is definitely college football. And I got my bracket right here. If we can get it up on my screen, please. This bracket has all the ins and outs and the makings of such a great college football playoff. This bracket is not finished, but I'm going to tell you by everybody who's on this bracket who I think is going to advance in these rounds. So if I can get up on my screen, please. Thank you. Tyler A's 12-team college football playoff bracket predictions. Once again, this is brought to you by Millions. Tagline 205millions.co. We are live on YouTube, Instagram, and Spotify. Once again, YouTube, Instagram, and Spotify. Thank you to Millions.co for allowing me to use their platform. Now, this is the bracket that I have. And no, do not get mad at me. Yes, I'm biased, but we have a good reason to be biased. Okay, James Madison and Tulane shouldn't be in there. They're just here. They're just here. Okay, we know Oregon is gonna win. We know Alabama's gonna be OU. Unfortunately, I mean, I want OU to win, but I've got to be realistic here. I got to be realistic. Tulane, thanks for coming. James Madison, thanks for coming. Texas A&M, I have you guys losing. Fraudulent. Fraudulent is the word. Fraudulent is the word when it comes to you guys. Fraudulent, okay? Fraudulent. Very fraudulent are you guys. Very fraudulent. All right. Okay. And now, Alabama, Indiana. So we have Oregon moving on to the second round to face Texas Tech. Alabama moving on to the second round to face Indiana. Ole Miss moving on to face Georgia. And U of M upsetting Texas A&M and following all those three teams to the second round to face Ohio State, respectively. Now, this is where things get a little bit shaky. I have, obviously, them Bulldogs, my Bulldogs, advancing to the semifinal to face Ohio State. I have Ohio State, obviously, beating Miami to face us. Here's where things get a little shaky at the top. I have Indiana upsetting, in some sorts, Alabama. And why do people ask, why is it an upset? Well, because Alabama is the most dominant team in college football history. So, yes, it will be an upset either way. It will be an upset based off of the fact that Alabama is known for being prestigious when it comes to the college football playoff. They are known for being prestigious. They are known for being that. So, once again, not putting biases into it, they're going to win that game if they have to face Indiana. I just feel like Mendoza's not ready for that. But what I did mention is that Alabama is going to lose this game. Alabama could upset Indiana, but they're not, because Alabama shouldn't be in the college football playoff anyway. Clearly, Notre Dame should have been in over them. Would have loved to see Notre Dame versus Indiana. You're in the same state. Notre Dame, we're going to get to them at the end of the video. We're going to get to them at the end of the show. But I have to say that Indiana's going to beat Alabama. I mean, it'll just be great. It'll just be great, right? Oregon and Indiana. Big Ten matchup. Georgia, Ohio State. These are the two semifinal matchups heading into the national championship, where I have Indiana and Georgia playing. Georgia's going to beat Ohio State. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to find a way. We're going to find a way. Oregon, your ride ends here, buddy. Thank you for showing up. I have Indiana and Georgia with, of course, my Bulldogs pulling it off against Indiana. Hoosiers. Okay? That is my bracket. And when people ask me, why is your bracket so based off of Georgia? It's not based off of Georgia. It's based off of what they have shown us since the Alabama loss. It is based on what Georgia has shown us in the Kirby Smart era. I know Kirby Smart can turn it on whenever he wants to, but I was at College Game Day downtown, okay, for SEC. You know, the SEC championship game, if you look at my Instagram, I was down there College Game Day. SEC Nation, SEC Fan Fest. It was great. Met a lot of great people, met fans, took pictures. When Kirby Smart said that he sat in a darkened room, I firmly believed that meant one thing: national championship or bust. And Georgia is going to come out on top. I don't care what anybody says. We are going to do this thing. We're going to, and this may be the hardest road we've ever had. This may be the hardest road we've ever had to a national championship, other than the Alabama year where we beat them in the national championship. That's it. That's it. So, thank you guys once again for watching. And once again, I'm coming to you from Spotify, live on millions.co and live on YouTube. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Spotify, if you guys did not already know, go ahead and subscribe on Spotify right now. For those of you that already have Spotify, thank you so much. Millions.co, Millions website. If you go to millions.co, literally millions.co, shout out to Millions. Shout out to Scott Whitaker and all of my guys at Millions. Go subscribe and follow me on millions.co and Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. You already know all my socials. They should be popping up very soon on the screen. Thank you guys so much for subscribing and following. You guys know where to contact me at. I'm up for anything. Let me know down below your comments on this show. If you ever want to hop on the show, my link is in the bio. My link is in my bio. Tyler A. Gates' personal Instagram is in that bio right now. You can go and fill it out because you could be a guest on this show. Once again, I am your host, Tyler A. Gates /analyst for millions.co. Thank you guys so much for allowing me this platform once again. Tyler A. Gates. Stay live, y'all. Stay live, and I'm out.